Hi, it's Hans. Today's topic is what I hate about sports talk radio. I was just listening to my team's early morning guys on the AM station, and they were talking to the Vikings play-by-play guy, because the Packers are playing the Vikings this weekend, and the guy, he was pretty interesting. He was talking about their quarterback and their defense and the good things about the Vikings, and then he had a few comments about the Packers, and as soon as he hung up, our guys on the AM radio just said like some outrageous things about the guy who just what he said, right? So it wasn't what he said at all, but yet that's what they said, just to do the controversy. I think it's just all about controversy. He completely spun what he said to something else. So that's one of the things I hate about sports radio. The other thing I probably hate the most, is they focus on what the players say and even what the coaches say. To me, that's just total inept broadcasting, total inept reporting, totally inept laziness, because to me, what the players say and what the coaches say doesn't matter at all. What matters is their play. And so when I like to, sometimes, when you listen to the radio or watch the news programs, what you want the guys to do is using their expertise of the game analysis, break down plays, break down players, what happened on that play, why is that player so good, why is he struggling, what's happening, is he injured, does he have a problem at home, is he lose his confidence, is he getting old, is he just totally overmatched, that type of thing. That's what I want to get out of the radio and TV guys, not how they hustle to try to get some quote, from a player after the game. And if you notice, most players are just young men, and young men are rarely eloquent and rarely have anything good to say, unless they're preparing themselves to say it. So why would we expect a player after the game, maybe they lost, maybe they won, but there was something went on, and then you're expecting to get some juicy quote from a player who's not equipped to say anything of any substance, right? So to me, it's so irritating. It's so irritating, and this is what I all the time. It's to the point where I almost can't bear to listen to the talk radio. Although I'm still trying, because every once in a while you do get that tidbit, that insight, that, oh man, that guy, why did that series of plays work so well? How did they get to them position to win? Or why, or sometimes it's like, well, why are they losing? What is the real problem? Not what they say the problem is, what is the real problem? That's the kind of analysis that I would like. I think all the sports fans, to me, I think they're hungry for that type of analysis, and that's why we continue to listen for it, trying to get to it. Every once in a while, like, you'll watch the pregame shows, and there'll be some guys on there that were like former players and coaches, and sometimes they'll have some really good insight, but the network and everybody else is trying to get away from that good analysis, that in-depth coverage, to get to the quote. What did he say? Oh, did you hear what he said? I don't care what he said. You know, what is the results of the game? That part I don't like. The other part I don't like is the overemphasis on being a champion. It'll always be, well, if you didn't win the Super Bowl, the season was a total waste. Really? There's so many teams, and there's only going to be one champion. So the season is trying to get to that point, but you're probably not going to be the champion. That's why if you ever do get to be the championship and win the game and win the championship, it's so sweet. And then you would cherish that and savor it forever. Like my team, the Packers, well, they won a Super Bowl in the 2000s, they won one in the 90s, and some in the 60s. And I savor those wins, those championships, because it is sweet. Now, some would, like the radio guys, they may say, well, you only won it once with the current quarterback, Aaron Rodgers. You only won it once with the previous, Brett Favre. Well, it's pretty hard to win it once, let alone multiple times. So like now it's like, well, Aaron Rodgers is the best quarterback in the league, so they should be winning the championship every year, but they haven't. Right? Even New England hasn't won it every year. So I think it's a healthy competition, and it's going to be difficult to win it, and you got to expect it. That the pleasure in the sport is in the trying to win it, you know, fair and square, and good competition and doing your best. I mean, that's life. You know, you know your work. You don't get every project. You don't get everything, and sometimes you make mistakes. Sometimes it doesn't go well, but you still go to work, right? Yeah, I mean, it's irritating to hear that from those guys. You know, sometimes your best players will get hurt. Sometimes your best players are not playing up to par for some reason, and you don't know why. Sometimes you got a lot of players who are hurt. So to me, a better analysis is, why are they getting hurt so much? Is there something that everybody's doing wrong, or is it just poor luck? And that's the kind of analysis I would like. Why are all of my team's players hurt? Is this common? Can you compare it to the rest of the league? I mean, how many guys hurt per game, per season? You know, that's the kind of analysis that would be interesting. That would be something of value, not just, well, what did he say after the game? What did you see him throw his helmet during the game? I mean, who cares about that kind of stuff? And really. So anyway, that's some of the things I hate about the radio sportscasters. I think you do too. All for now.